They apparently the Nigerian state governors they came together and they declared a state of emergency on rape following a spate of sexual violence. This was on CNN.
Yeah, the stats was
the governors of 36 states have resolved to declare a state of emergency. Apparently, there's a stat out there. They said
it's a crazy stat.
They said violence against women is a daily reality in Nigeria, where 25% of girls have experienced sexual violence before the age of 18, compared with 10% of boys. And this is according to a 2014 UNICEF study. So there's actually a study
but you see,
behind
here's
this.
the issue with this thing in Nigeria. So some guys were in Lagos trying to do a documentary on rape, and they came across this man. This man was giving his description on rape. This man was talking about in Malam. Was talking about him having sex with a 12-year-old girl, and he was describing it in detail, smiling. And when one of them was like, they were kind of like egging him on so he can say the story.
Yeah,
and they were recording him, and one of them was like, but that's rape. He said, it's not rape, Joe. That you know why it's not rape? Because when I was giving it to her after I was done, she didn't tell anybody. And then he goes, someone says, so what is sexual assault? He said, hands that one is sexual assault. So okay, even if you think it's sexual assault, you think that's okay? And then someone said, the guy goes, yo, they're going to arrest you. And his initial reaction was, I beg you, go arrest me, Joe. So it's part of the culture where these men or people, even women, even these when these stories come out, you start hearing, why is Shaitan going to hang out with the band? Why did she not know that that's what they want to do? What was she doing in the hotel? Why did she go and do all that stuff? Did she not know? And blah blah. Didn't they tell her before? And stuff. And it's like, you know, even somebody put out a thing one time on Facebook saying if somebody raped you and they were going to pay you 20 million naira, what would you do? And women were commenting saying, somebody even said that one comment stood out that was very disturbing. She said, I would even give the man a child to seal the deal.
Oh,
you know, so
God.
it's like you can call state of emergency, but education is the number one thing, because how do you educate people, both men and women, that rape is rape?
I think it's a combination of things, because Nigeria is a patriarchal society, right?
Yeah.
And then you have a combination of, in certain tribes and cultures, right? It's actually okay for you to marry a child. I mean,
of course,
basically like an underage girl, right? That in itself is considered statutory rape here in America, right?
Yes.
So you have that component of it too. And then you have the component of, you know, the women, I think more so now than before, they're okay with doing things like, you know, being runs babes or sleeping with men for money, which is why you can have someone that can make that kind of comment on such a post. I think it's way past education. You can define rape however you want to define it. It is the systems and values that's ingrained in the culture that's causing these issues.
I think another reason why this has really come on the forefront is during the pandemic, you know, the whole world was locked up. And you know what happens when people are locked up in the house, right?
People have time.
No, not just that. People are more subject to domestic violence. That's a thing. It's a thing here in the United States.
Oh wait, are you saying that's why there's rape?
No. I think that might have played a part in why there's been such an awareness of it recently.
Oh, okay.
The lockdown exposed a lot of things. And it's not just Nigeria. In Ethiopia, this is a BBC story. 100 girls raped in Ethiopia during pandemic. And these were young girls. Authorities in Ethiopia have said that more than 100 girls were raped and treated in the capital, Addis Ababa, since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. The head of Addis Ababa Women and Children Affairs Office, Almaz Abraham, said sexual violence was on the rise as schools had been closed to prevent the spread of the coronavirus pandemic. So they said 101 girls were raped in the past 2 months after the outbreak.
That's crazy.
So what ends up happening is that people are stuck in the homes, and then you have, in a lot of cases, these people's family members that end up doing these things. And it's really, really sad. There was another case. I know when we had talked about like two girls, Tina and another girl. There's even another case of this girl called Uwa, and I don't know if you guys have been seeing
who
it.
was the one that they killed now?
In a church.
They raped
and killed her. There was another one in Ibadan, where we're from.
Even in the Uwa cases, I see comments from women saying, "Why was she alone in the church studying at night?"
Yeah, it's sick.
You know, so it's
sick.
There
was another girl, Barakat Bello, raped and killed during a robbery in Ibadan. I mean, there's so many. I went online and I just realized that there's so many instances.
But
you
also see.
I mean, I think this has been happening. It's nothing new. I mean, it's just coming to light now, because of everything that's going on. But none of this is new.
And you also see the way, people put up tweets from people like Peruzzi, and you see the way they think. Peruzzi was tweeting at the time, you know, if I go to her house and she doesn't want to have sex, I go rape her more. Like a lot of rape very tweets, because that mindset was what it is.
Sick.
It's what it is guy, how you go to a girl's house, or how a girl come to your house and she says no to you, she mad. And that's that. And then you hear women say stuff like, well, the way they dress, why are you going to a guy's house? But it's like, bro, you can, it's not about you coming to my house or how you dress. You can get raped anywhere by anybody.
Yeah.
So what do you say about that? And that's when this Uber case came out. They were like, okay, she was in the church. And what did they say? They were like, oh no.
In the church.
What was she doing
Some
by
people,
herself?
The VIP section waiting for them in hell.
In church. In church.
I do think that maybe some women make those comments and they have good intentions behind it, but the way it comes across is just very ignorant.
They don't know better.
Because I think it's a combination of, we all need to be smarter in general, men and women, right? Mm-hmm. We have to be careful about where we go, how we move around, to protect ourselves in any situation. I think maybe that's where they're trying to get at with these misguided comments that they're making.
Yeah,
but
you got
it's not an excuse
exactly
to what has happened. You know, I think it's a combination of, you know, if you're female, don't go walking at nighttime by yourself, right? Just because you went walking at nighttime by yourself doesn't give a man the right to rape you. So I maybe, you know, I think the way they're presenting that is just very, you know how sometimes Nigerian women, especially mothers, they can just be very blunt on say something like that.
Well, they don't know any better. And